What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jaleesa, and today I'm going to be giving you guys a list of 6 books that I want to read before 2020 is over. There's one book in particular on this list that I'm going to tell you guys first that I have been waiting for since like May. I mean, I've been waiting for so long because the first book in this little trilogy was so good. It was so good. So let's just get right into the books because these are some good picks. The first book is obviously Crush by Tracy Wolff. The first book was so good, so I feel like I need to give you guys like a little quick synopsis of Crave, which was the first book in this trilogy. Crave follows this girl, Grace. Her parents were killed and she was forced to move to Alaska with her cousin. And at the school, it's called Cadme Academy. It's a boarding school and it's in the middle of Alaska. So it's kind of, I guess, yeah, kind of cold. So Grace is like surrounded by all these people at her school that are just kind of different from her. They're like eyeballing her and giving her like this death stare. Grace is surrounded by vampires, witches, warlocks, dragons, and werewolves, and she has no idea until about like halfway through the book. So it just follows her in this relationship with this vampire Jackson and her friendship with her cousin Macy, and it's a great book. I stan Crave. It's one of the best books I've read in 2020. Crush is a sequel to that book, and pretty much it follows Grace after her first year at Cadme Academy, and she doesn't remember what happened at the end of the first book, which was Crave. Her memory is a little bit fuzzy, so she's not sure exactly the events that went down at the end of the book, and she's not sure exactly what happened to her, but she knows that she's no longer just human. She knows that there's more to her than just her humanity. And so she's trying to really figure out who she is and what that means in this new world of Cadme Academy. And she's finally in a place where her and Jackson can date openly and freely, and they have no problems. It's like she knows he's a vampire, he knows she's what she is, and they're happy. And then Jackson's brother, Hudson, Hudson makes his grand return, and he just causes problems. Jackson actually killed Hudson in the first book, and he killed him because he threatened not just the vampires in the area, but really all of humanity. So he had to kill Hudson. So Hudson comes back and he's like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, what's goody? I'm back. And Jackson's just like, oh shoot, okay. He's back. So Hudson's presence really threatens the relationship between Jackson and Grace. For some reason, Jackson and Hudson are gonna have to work together to fight against some grand evil that threatens Grace's life. So in this book, Grace's life is really at stake. However, we're told that a sacrifice will have to be made, and all I gotta say is if it's Jackson, I'm gonna be pissed with Tracy Wolff. She's gonna have to personally come and see me about this because I love Jackson. So this book is like my most anticipated book of 2020. I went as far as I emailed the publishing company. I tweeted Tracy so many times, almost begging her for this book, like an arc of this book. I didn't get it. As you guys can tell, I didn't get it. But that's fine because I'm still a huge fan. So I can't wait. It comes out September 25th. No one talked to me on that day because I'm gonna be reading this book. The next one is also a new release that has not came out yet. I think it comes out in October. It is called Not Just Friends by T. Geffert. I'm not sure to say his last name. But this book follows these 2 friends, I guess. They have a one-night stand. However, you know, you would think one-night stands mean just, oh, it's a one and done, and like we go on with our lives. Unfortunately, this one-night stand happens between this girl and this guy. However, the guy is best friend with her brother, and he finds out, and so obviously nobody wants to know that you're sleeping with my sister. You feel what I'm saying? So that's a problem. And the sister has an ex-boyfriend who actually is stalking her. So we're just gonna be following this one night stand and all the events that transpire after it. I'm ready for the messiness. The last book that's a new release coming out is Closer to Nowhere by Ellen Hopkins. This is a fiction, a YA fiction, and it's told in verse. This book follows Hannah and Cal, their cousins. Hannah, she has like the perfect life, so to speak. She has super supportive parents. She has a very thriving social life in high school. Then her cousin Cal has to move into her house with her and her parents because his mom passes away. He does these pranks on people, and he tells these like these tales and jokes that people really don't always like. So it just kind of falls to them and their different perspectives of like what it's like for Hannah to have Cal move into her house, kind of invade her personal life, and it shows how she feels about his presence not being in her home. And then it also shows Cal's point of view and how he's grieving. He's also trying to cope with the loss of his mother, and why he makes the jokes and does the pranks that he does, and what that looks like for him as far as it being a coping mechanism. And it just kind of ties the two of their perspectives together, and it just shows how they both want to work kind of together to save the family that they love. It sounds like it could be kind of deep, but also just a refreshing read. Now there are 3 books that I want to get into that have already came out that I have been slow to read. The first book, obviously I read her sister's book last week or 2 weeks ago, and that is Get a Life Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Okay, listen, so Take a Hint, Dani Brown was exquisite. It was amazing. I've heard mixed reviews about Get a Life Chloe Brown. I've heard some people liked it, some people didn't really care for it, and everyone kind of came to the same consensus that it's not as good as Take a Hint, Dani Brown. So Get a Life Chloe Brown follows Chloe. She suffers from a chronic illness, and she's on the verge of dying. She doesn't actually die, which is great. And so she pretty much makes a bucket list of things she wants to do in her life, but she wants to kind of be like a bad girl. Scandalous. She recruits the help of this guy, Red. Now, Red is tatted up. He rides a motorcycle. The epitome of what we think of him as a bad boy, right? So like perfect for her. They embark on this journey of life, and also I'm sure they're gonna embark on a journey of love as well. The next book is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer Armentrout. I think I said her name right. So I was actually recommended this book by one of my subscribers. If you tell me, hey Jaleesa, this book is a romance, but also it's got a little bit of action in there, but ultimately there's vampires, I'm sold. I'm sold. I'm like a vampire paranormal romance connoisseur. This book follows this girl Poppy. She's a maiden. Maidens, for whatever reason, they can't be touched. They aren't supposed to be like in relationships, and so I guess she's supposed to be like some kind of ascension supposed to be happening, and she's supposed to live a life in solitude. However, a guard enters her life and kind of just changes all of that. This guard really kind of invades her space and gets Poppy to kind of question everything she thought she believed about ascension and about the kingdom and the duty that she has to the kingdom. In this book, there are things that are forbidden and lines that are going to be crossed, because the line between what's forbidden and what's right kind of are blurred together. I don't know if there's any romance between the guard and Poppy, or Poppy and someone else. And also, as a matter of fact, the sequel to this book is called Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, and the cover of that book, gosh, it is so beautiful. I can't read that book, so I can read the sequel to that book. Okay, so the last book that I have on this list of books I have to read before the year's over, Dating Makes Perfect by Pentip Dunn. Now, I looked this name up on Google before I did this video. I don't speak Thai, so I tried to find the correct pronunciation because I know it's not tech. From what I heard, I believe it's Tay. So it follows the three Tay sisters. 2 of them are twins, and then there's the younger sister. And so in the Tay family, their parents don't allow them to date in high school. So the 2 twin sisters go off to college, and then the first 6 months of college, they come home and the parents are like, why aren't you engaged yet? They're like, I mean, we weren't allowed to date in high school. We've been in college only 6 months. What do you expect? And so they, in order to kind of like retaliate against their parents for invading their personal relationship life, they make a vow not to marry for 10 to 20 years. Their parents are not okay with that. They hate that they're doing that. So they force their younger sister, Winnie, to fake date in high school. And they actually pick the guy that she fake dates. It's a family friend of theirs. And he is Winnie's biggest enemy. He's arrogant. She finds him infuriating, and she thinks that he's also very attractive. And so of course, right? So they fake date, and I mean, obviously they're gonna end up liking each other. It's a classic YA enemies to lovers. Like, why wouldn't they end up together? You know what I mean? But it seems like it's gonna be super cute. I gotta say though, I've never read a book where the parents force the children to fake date. That's new. These are 6 books that I just, oh my gosh, I can't wait to read. And these are not like my TBR books where I might read them. These are like, I'm gonna read them. Mark my words. Mark them. But yes, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to do a buddy read with Crushed by Tracy Wolff, please let me know. I'm pretty sure me and Christina are going to be doing a buddy read. So Christine's page is Editorial Edge. I will link her channel below. If there's any of these books that you guys want to buddy read with me, let me know and I'll get in touch with you and we'll do that, because buddy reads are always fun. Plus, hello, accountability. So anyway, I will see you guys in my next video, and yeah.